Hey guys, finally he sleeps here. Today we're going to talk about how to get the most out of these fusion events in Raid Shadow Legends. So one of the big components to Raid Shadow Legends, one of my favorite games, just everyday play, is fusion events. Now these occur monthly and they kind of take place every few weeks. So you'll see, you have a lull and then a new one will come in. And what they do is they allow you to go in and build important champions in the game. And there's a huge week, 2 week, calendar of events, and we have to do it. So there's a way to go about it, be prepared for them, and how to take on each of the different components that make these fusion events much easier. So that's what we're going to talk about. First though, make sure you subscribe here at YouTube, turn on notifications so you never miss when a video goes live for any of my raid content or any of the other games that we play. So here is the fusion event that we have running right now. It is Maranix. She is a, a Dark Elves legendary attack. We'll just take a look at her. Here's what she looks like. She does have an A1 with Hex debuff. She's going to work well for anyone who has anybody that's matching up with the Hex stuff. And remember, there was a Hex update earlier this year that made them a little bit more powerful, so that does come into play. 60% decreased defense on her A2, and the big one, attacks all enemies and will ignore unkillable buffs and shield buffs if targets are under a Hex debuff. So as long as you've got Hex debuffs on, this is going to be important. Places an unkillable buff on this champion for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy without a Hex buff, or an unkillable for 2 turns if it is under a Hex debuff. And then her passive resets the cooldown on the inexplorable A03, the A3 ability, whenever this champion kills an enemy under a Hex debuff. So it's going to reset the cooldown on that one. That is pretty big. Okay, now the key with these things is they're free. The fusion events generally don't take anything to do other than just grinding the game. So it doesn't require anything out of pocket. There's no money involved if you go into these the correct way. Now, there are 2 types of fusion events. This one is actually a fusion event. You use fuse to get there. Now, the other part is a fragment summon fusion event. They call them fusion events, but it's actually a fragment summon event. And these, you're actually getting components, different pieces of a champion to put them together. But for this one, for the fusion event, you have to build all of these individual champions to put together to fuse to get it all done, and you only have a specific amount of time to do it. So now, to gain all of the fragments or champions to use for this fusion event during the time that is available, Plarium puts out a calendar to show you what dates everything is coming. So like in this one, it began on Tuesday, October 4th, and we had a dragon tournament and champion training event came in first. Then dungeon divers and artifact enhancement next. Then we had summon rush, ice golem, and classic arena. Then dungeon divers. As you can see, it's like different components every couple of days, and you have to hit all of that to get through to gain to be able to claim the legendary champion that it's part of the event. Now, what they'll do is it takes, let's say it's a fragment event. You'll need 100 fragments to get there, but you have the ability to get like 140 fragments if you're winning tournaments. But if you just do the bare minimum and claim the minimum stuff, generally the rule is that they'll offer you 115 for anybody not winning tournaments. So there's always one of these events that you can skip or not go as hard in. Some of the events actually give you two 2 sets, one for everybody and then one for the ones that go crazy into it, that you can kind of do it here. Now, the thing to look out for, Dragon Tournament, Ice Golem, any of those, Fire Knight Tournament, any of the tournaments that are specific for dungeons, just make sure you have enough stamina. Maybe if you have the battle pass, you have enough auto battles, set it up on autoplay, find where you can earn the most rewards, and you're going to be able to do it. It's just a matter of grinding it out on autoplay. Dungeon Divers is a little different, and if you can stack stuff and pay attention to it, so like on the very first day, October 4th, Tuesday, there's no real sense in going in on Dragon Tournament on that first day, because on Wednesday, once Dungeon Divers releases, everything that you're earning in the Dragon Tournament will already be going towards Dungeon Divers. So that first day, it would be better to kind of focus on champion training, which you can do in campaign, which will also help you for Dungeon Divers, but you're going to get more bang for your buck on the Dragon than you will on the champion training and campaign. So you're paying attention to be able to get stuff set up so that you're tackling at least 2 things at once. Now, when it comes into artifact enhancement, the best way to go after artifact enhancement is to train 5 and 6 star, preferably 6 star components, to get to year 16. Get them to level 16, you get the most bang for your buck. And to do that, you need to come into it with a ton of coins. So, Dragon Tournament, you're going to be collecting a lot of stuff that you're going to probably be selling most of that gear that you don't need. You'll be using that for champion training, but you'll be putting all of those coins into your artifacts for the artifact enhancement event that starts on October 5th. So you're mapping out what you're doing, and you're not wasting resources where you don't need it. Summon Rush, and the other one, there's always a Summon Rush event and a shard event where you have to, it comes into how many shards you're spending. Some of the events require, it's what you're claiming. The champion chase is how many champions you're earning. Summon Rush is how many shards you're spending. So you want to come into that. You see that on October 7th, we have a Summon Rush event. You need to have a lot of shards set up to be able to claim it. And now the problem, the thing that a lot of people are kind of frustrated over the way this stuff works is when you have a Summon Rush, you only earn points for summoning champions, not earning champions. And the points come through not by what you get, by what you spend. So you earn X amount of points using Mystery, Ancient, Sacred, and Void shards. So to be able to go into those portions of the Fusion event and earn the most credit possible, you have to have a lot of shards saved up, which is why it's always important to know that these Fusion events are coming, pay attention, and not use your shards as soon as you get them. Hoard and hold. So if you come into an event with like 3 to 4 sacred shards that you've earned through Clan Boss, through calendar rewards, or faction awards, anything, don't use them as soon as you get them. Hold them for when a Fusion event starts, because then you look at the calendar and you know, okay, there's a Summon Rush coming. I am definitely going to need to use all of those Ancient shards and most importantly, Sacred shards for the Summon Rush. Now, Champion Chase, which we have later in the event, is different. Champion Chase, you get points for earning champions. So another way you can do to max out your points for the Champion Chase is if you've completed a fusion in the past, or you've got a full fragment, like you've completed 100 fragments and you can claim a legendary from maybe like Doom Tower or any of that kind of stuff. Don't collect that until we're in the middle of a champion chase tournament, because you'll earn all the points for that during that tournament. So that's how you maximize your points there. Don't waste your shards for champion chase. Use your fragment and your fusions there. You can kind of supplement with your shards if you want. but you're also going to be earning probably a lot of mystery shards and some ancient shards during all of your dungeon runs and your campaign runs that you're going to use earlier in the event for champion training. Dungeon divers, the dragons, ice golem, fire knight, that kind of stuff is going to earn you a ton of shards that you're going to use then towards the champion chase tournament. The other one to talk about here that is a major component to this is the classic arena. Sometimes there's tag team. The classic arena takedown that is part of this is simple, but be prepared. Maybe you want to put in a terrible defensive team to drop down so that you can quickly implement from a lower tier and build yourself way back up to get the classic arena tokens taken care of, and that way you're not sitting around and waiting on anything. The other thing, dungeon divers, this is a big tip. Dungeon divers, if you're coming down to, let's say you have 12 hours left on dungeon divers and you want to get it quickly, the best place to do it and earn a ton of coins in the process, it does use a lot of energy, but it is pretty much the fastest way to go through it, is spider level 10. If you can build a spider team that will be able to tackle level 10 on spiders in a very quick manner. Here, we'll take a look at the team we have set up for spider 10. Where's that? Spider 10. Build a team that is heavy damage for level 10 on spider that can usually complete it in 15 to 30 seconds. And if you've got it set up on, if you can set it up to where you can do dungeon divers and a spider tournament at the same time and just take heavy damage in on the spider, that was 15 seconds, but we got a flagon of brew. We're looking for any of the accessories. The accessories give a lot of points, and the key with level 10 here on spider is you usually get, see, there we go. It's an uncommon, but it's a 5-star uncommon, and you can really quickly rack up a ton of coins that you'll be able to use again for the artifact enhancement, but you'll also earn enough for dungeon divers to be able to knock it out. So if you come down to the time frame where you're like, oh crap, I gotta finish dungeon divers and it's about to end, spider level 10 is the way to do it. But again, the most important component to this whole thing is being able to stack your stuff. Hoard your silver, hoard your shards, be prepared for when summon rush comes and champion chase, and you're going to be fine. The last one that I want to talk about here is champion training, because I see a lot of people going about champion training the wrong way. The easiest points you're going to earn from champion training is in campaign the very first time you use a champion. So when you go into champion training and you have let's say a 3-star champion, and you get X amount of points for every level they go up, you earn no more you earn no more tournament points from a 27 going to a 28 than you do a 1 going to a 2. And if you pay attention in campaign, let's say brutal, if you go to 6, was it 12-6 for boots in campaign, and you throw in a level 1 fighter or champion, no matter what they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5-star, 6-star as well, they're going to move up 6 to 10 right away. They're going to jump from 1 to 6 to 10. You're going to earn points for 1 to 6 to 10. So there is never a reason to rank up a max level champion using anybody at 1. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So if we go to the tavern And we have someone that's maxed. We'll go down to the food here. Okay, so here's a 1-star at level 10 that we're going to upgrade. If we throw a 1 into him for his upgrade rank, we throw a 1 into him, we've gotten rid of a 1. And you're only going to get the points for upgrading the Axeman from 10, from level 1 rank up to rank 2. When you go to 2-star with this, you're only going to get points for there. There's no reason to ever do that without throwing that level 1 into campaign and just wasting 8 energy to run 3 of those 1-stars through to take him to level 7. It's even with 1-stars, the points that you gain for the champion training specifically from 1 campaign battle, 8 energy, 3 1-stars, that you jump from 1 all the way to level 7 in that 1 campaign battle. It takes a matter of seconds. It is so much more important. And when you come down to anybody else, if you're gaining that much of an advantage from doing 1-stars, then never, ever, ever should you use a 4-star piece of food to rank up another max level. You should always run it through campaign a couple of times to earn all of the points in upgrading him to get him to the level where he's ready to be used as food. You're just missing out on a massive level of points. Now, the other thing is if you're coming into champion training and you want to get stuff ready, then make sure you have a lot of stuff at level 1 of their star. Don't max everything out to 40 and 50 before the champion training comes and then think you're going to get all the points from ranking them. That's not how it works. We would go into campaign as soon as this begins. Now, if we want coins, we go for stage 3. If we want XP and higher ranking, we go for stage 6. So all I would do before I would do any of that training is I make sure I have 3 that are ready to go, and you run it as many times as their level. So for me, at 4 stars, I will run these through 4 campaign battles. A 1-star goes through 1 time, 2-star goes through 2 times, 3-star goes through 3 times. You can set up multi-battles to do it, and that will increase their levels right away. Then, once you get them to the point where you can use them as food to go into it, you're going to rank up your 40, your max level, with 3 of them that are already at like 15 or 22 or whatever it is when you run them through campaign at 4 times. It's just the most effective way to use energy and coins to get yourself as far through the fusion event as you can, free to play. All right, so those are the tips for fusion events. I hope that helps make the most of these. Generally, I go into all fusion events and hit them all. I try not to miss any of the fusion champions that are available, even if it's not a massive champion, or if the reviews come in and they're like, it's not really worth this champion. If I've got the shards to be able to do it, saved up for it, and I know that there's not a more important fusion event coming, I will go in on it. And if it's a champion that I'm not going to use, I will throw him in the vault, because it's odds are they're going to buff that champion down the line. They've done it almost every time for every fusion event that we've had. I have not had a fusion event champion that I have not used for something since I've began playing Raid. So they are that important. Hope that helps. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Make sure you subscribe here to the channel if these tips helped you. Turn on notifications so you never miss when a video goes live. Check out all of my links. Come find me on Twitch when we're streaming live. And as long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep making videos.